Today, guys, we're gonna be seeing if Toothless can survive in Skull Island. Now, personally, I think he can. You know, he's a dragon, he's got that fire breath or whatever he's got. I think he's got a chance. Let me know what you think, though, in the comments. Can he beat a skull crawler? What about King Kong? He's got a lot to go up against. This video is gonna be by Goji Center. I'll throw him up on the screen right now so you can see him. And let's go ahead and jump in here. Here's what will happen to my boy Toothless. Let's see.
Night Furies are a species of quadrupedal dragons that are featured in How to Train Your Dragon. We should
so
also mention that these are among
too.
the strongest, if not the most powerful species of dragons.
They are very strong.
These are considered strike-class dragons, which
Just
are
seen that movie,
characterized by
right?
their exceptional bite force,
That was a
complex
good
levels
movie.
of cognitive abilities, and most importantly, their extreme flying speeds.
Absolutely,
That's right,
he is
we
very
are
fast.
really quickly starting to understand that this animal has good maneuverability,
My
which
boy
will be
Toothless.
extremely useful to its attempt to survive on this island. But there's a whole lot more to this guy.
Look at him, he can
in
destroy.
Skull Island, there are things that can attack from all directions.
That's true.
Masters of camouflage, deceit,
Oh.
and combat ability. We'll
You got the
quickly
skull
cover the
crawlers,
abilities of
you
this
got
dragon
Kong.
and then later match it up against creatures that could give the Night Fury a run for its money.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna see
Up
first
here,
the
we
skull
find
crawler,
that this
maybe.
animal has acute senses, excellent hearing that allows it to pick up acoustic
Excellent
signals
hearing
from
for Night
very long
Fury.
distances, large round eyes packed with tons of light receptors that allow it to see in areas with reduced visibility such as fog, rain, snow, smoke, and in dark ambience.
See, that's why I
But
give him
what
a
if
chance,
it's
man.
Too dark. Well, you'd be surprised that this guy also leverages echolocation to allow it to see in complete darkness.
So he's like
if
a
for
bat.
whatever reason the Night Fury
Beautiful.
can't see something, he can definitely smell it. That's right, this guy has a very good sense of smell. And for some strange reason, it can apparently smell danger approaching.
That's really cool.
Moving on to some physical
Which, that will
attributes,
come
we
in
find
handy
that
on
this
Skull
dragon
Island.
won't be the smallest creature in Skull Island, but most definitely not the biggest. This
Definitely
guy
not the
measures
biggest.
almost 29 feet in length, around
Yeah.
6 feet in height, and
He's
a
not very
massive
big.
50-foot wingspan. This places it in the medium to large-sized winged creatures on this island. But it doesn't always have to fly.
What about
Night Furies
Camazotz?
are also capable
That
of
boy's
making their way
ginormous.
through tough terrain with their flexible claws that can dig into the hardest surfaces, allowing them to literally crawl on any vertical plane.
Well, that's
Their
good.
tough
That'll help.
bodies allow them to resist strong impacts, and its wings can serve as shields, protecting its body from any incoming projectiles. But in the
Is it
monsterverse,
that
having
strong,
good
though?
senses and a durable body isn't a guarantee that you'll stay alive.
I mean, look at the
you
skull
need more
crawler.
than that. It just so happens that this Night
And of
Fury
course,
has
Kong.
a few tricks up its sleeve. In the
Oh,
hidden
yeah?
world, we witness the Night Fury's ability to literally disappear using its cloaking ability.
I haven't seen this
absorbing
one.
the surrounding electrical energy to activate reflective properties in its scales, allowing it to be invisible for a short time.
Okay,
This,
Toothless.
combined with its ability to fly at supersonic speeds, gives this animal a big chance at surviving its first night in Skull Island.
Yeah, he could just be invisible
In
the
this
whole time.
scenario,
That would
we will
work.
assume that the tail of this Night Fury is fully functional, allowing it to move at its full potential while airborne.
Right.
Note that if this tail gets damaged, this makes the Night Fury fair game to be added on someone else's menu.
Oh, that's right, 'cause he added
More
that
on this
flag to it,
later.
right?
Once landing in Skull Island, an intelligent animal like this Night Fury will first have to figure out where all his needs are met before determining where it belongs in the food chain. Almost every animal in the world, including us humans,
Need some
unconsciously
food, man.
seek to meet the basic biological needs vital for our survival.
Speaking of which, I'm
These
starving.
include breathable air, water, food, ability to maintain body temperature, and shelter. Our Night Fury here is
He
no
can do that.
different. Skull Island is a tropical biome, which means that it's a good temperature for this specific animal.
That's
if
solid.
you didn't know, Night Furies do not thrive well in cold climates,
What does
making
Toothless
this place
eat, though?
suitable in terms of these categories. It's the food and shelter aspects that will be a little bit tricky.
Right, what is he
In
gonna
Skull
eat?
Island, only the strongest creatures, those that fill the upper ranks of this biome's food chain, have
Maybe
the
some
privilege
fruit
of
and
finding
whatnot?
true shelter in this island.
Not the
To
giant
survive
spider,
the night
bro.
Here, this creature needs to be able to effectively fend off a plethora of monsters located in key areas. Almost all sources of fresh water on this island are populated by crazy predators.
Ooh, yeah,
Ambush hunters
very
such
crazy.
as the swamp locusts and the siren jaw crocodiles would make the mere act of drinking water a dangerous task.
That would be
Let's
dangerous.
say Toothless decides to avoid these areas and rather visit a freshwater lake. Well, meet the Meyer squids.
Oh
Big
my
enough
gosh.
to eat this animal as a snack. The problem with facing
Look at the
these monsters
size on
is
that
that they
thing.
are much
Way
bigger
different.
than the Night Fury. But
Much
we need
bigger.
to bring up another ability, one which will render most of these threats obsolete.
Oh, that's a cool little render
yeah,
right there.
You probably
I like
thought
that.
we forgot to discuss this weapon, didn't you? This right here is a superheated plasma blast
I knew
that
he
can
had
be
the
charged
beams.
to whatever level of power the Night Fury
plasma
deems
blast.
fit. It can be as subtle as a concussive blast or powerful enough to destroy entire structures with ease.
Dang, okay.
But are these enough to counter ambushing predators?
I think it
Remember
would
that
be.
before these blasts are fired, there is a short charge-up period in which the Night Fury builds up enough energy to expel from its mouth. Except with ambush predators such as the Siren Jaw, these guys would be able to snap their
Siren
jaws
Jaw.
shut before any blast leaves the Night Fury.
And
This is
Toothless
where the
would be
dragon
gone.
must rely on its senses. Remember, this guy
Just bite
can
him in
somehow
half.
smell threats, and nothing screams danger more than a massive 60-plus foot crocodile ready to snap its jaws shut.
Facts.
On an island where just taking a sip of water puts you in harm's way, you can already imagine what it's like to hunt for food.
I feel like you would be
Adding
able to
yourself
see
as
that,
a
though.
new
A
predator on
giant
this particular
crocodile about
island
to
is
come out of the
literally
water.
asking for trouble. That is because you
You'd be
now
able
have
to
a
get out
ton
of
of
the
other
way.
predators to look out for and territories to fight over. In other words, competition.
Competition
But who
would be a
the
big
Night
one.
Fury's direct competitors?
Someone
there are
that can
lots
fly,
of them.
probably?
Because this guy
Or
is a
Kong.
carnivore and would realistically require a lot of nourishment to keep this animal running, small prey wouldn't do the trick here. Other predators hunting the same stuff would be the Icarus tiger, for instance.
Ooh,
a
that
massive
tiger is
feline capable
sick.
of inflicting euphoric effects on its enemies and dispatching them with its lethal array of weapons.
Oh yeah, he could do that for sure. Blast him out of there.
Alrighty then. The death jackals, pack hunters with mandibles as strong as those of a great
I
white.
feel like he could do the
animals
same
that
thing, you
swarm
know?
their enemies and tear them limb from limb.
Exactly. Plasma beam.
The juvenile skull crawlers, ferocious hyperbores that hold the title
Would
of
he
the
be
most
able to do that?
relentless predators in the island, armed with prehensile tongues, tails,
Let's see.
backwards-facing teeth, and extreme
Plasma beam?
durability. Their only weakness is being disemboweled and...
There we go. Plasma
All right,
beam. Let's
fine.
go Toothless.
Look, it is because of this ability here that this Night Fury so far has a great chance at surviving encounters
great
with land
chance.
predators at a range. Even with a shot limit, one well-placed shot at any of these animals would potentially be enough to kill or scare them away.
Absolutely.
Without having
What about
to
the
worry
big
about
flyers,
missing,
though?
since strike-class dragons have impeccable accuracy. So, are there any creatures on this island that actually pose a threat?
Yes.
Well, yes, and here they are.
Who's
There
it gonna
are
be, though?
three. The
There's
first
three of
being
them.
the notorious Big One, or Ramarak,
That would be
the
Skullcrawler.
Skullcrawler. This animal is the one responsible for taking down Kong's parents and is simply massive. It's everything
He
the
is
smaller
massive.
Skullcrawlers are, but at a bigger scale and
Those
bigger
teeth.
appetite. So what would a Night Fury do in this instance?
Fly around
Fortunately
him,
for
shoot him with the
Toothless, these
plasma?
Skullcrawlers, no matter how big they are, cannot
Can't fly. Yep, there
and
we
they
go.
can't necessarily shoot anything back, other than a long prehensile tongue that is very limited range-wise. Toothless? We have seen this dragon bravely face off against two foes of gargantuan proportions, using firepower that was even able to knock back the Red Death.
Exactly.
A dragon who, by the way, measured 400 feet in length
400
and 100
feet.
in height.
If he can beat
so
him-
yes, bigger than our big Skullcrawler.
He can beat-
If
that
the Night
definitely
Fury
beat the
realizes that
Skullcrawler.
this Skullcrawler is a threat that must be dispatched, it would most likely be able to stay airborne while
Toothless
peppering
is a
this guy
savage.
with multiple strikes, weakening it, causing it to retreat, or even
Look at the
killing
size
it.
difference,
all
though.
the while
That's
not
crazy.
even making contact with the Night Fury. But are there
Nice.
others that can actually fight back?
Kong could. He could just throw
Our
stuff
next
at him.
big threat to the Night Fury would be Kong, assuming that it would pick a fight with it to begin with.
Yeah, I
Kong
wouldn't.
is not a malevolent being and
Just
will
leave him
most
alone.
likely not try to go after the Night Fury, given that this dragon isn't necessarily out to kill everything.
Right, yeah.
But what if Kong decided to try to eliminate the Night Fury?
I don't think he
Well,
would, but
again,
if he
with the
did.
issue of flight, Kong can't fly, and it most definitely will not be able to catch up to a dragon who can fly at the speed of sound
That's
or
true.
block several consecutive plasma blasts. The only thing to watch out for is Kong's ability to throw objects.
Exactly.
And
Y'all
quite
think
frankly,
Kong would win?
Kong is also
Or
pretty
Toothless?
accurate at throwing projectiles also.
My boy's
These
accurate.
can be as massive as entire tree logs, other large objects, and even handheld weaponry. Because the
Like a
Night
jet.
Fury's mass would not be as heavy as these
Oh, if
hurled
he had the
objects,
axe,
getting
though?
hit by one would immediately
would
kill
be
this
over.
dragon if hit on the right spot, or if it doesn't counter said object with its own blast.
Oh, yeah, if he got hit
We
with it,
aren't
it's
saying
over.
that this is a 50-50 scenario, but rather a confrontation that would be in favor of a creature that can maintain a distance while firing deadly projectiles from above.
Let me know what you all
But
think.
will
Let me
this
know. Who
fight
would win that
even
fight?
happen? It's very likely that two intelligent and mostly benevolent beings would begin to form a symbiotic relationship with each
Right.
other. Yes,
I think they would be
both
nice.
are very curious and intelligent animals,
Maybe
and will
friends.
eventually detect each other's presence, meaning that upon their first confrontation, these two would realize that they could mutually benefit from each other.
True.
Kong provides land protection for the Night Fury against any potential ambushes, while providing sheer strength.
They would be a
And the
team.
Night Fury is able to provide aerial coverage in the event that Kong needs to call in an airstrike. As crazy as this may sound, this
That's a
is
solid
actually
team.
possible. In the real world, there are countless times where animals of different species come to each other's aid, providing
That's
combat
true.
assistance where needed. So two benevolent, super intelligent beings collabing to make living on Skull Island easier shouldn't be a surprise anymore.
I like that.
But what
Toothless
about
and
creatures
Kong?
that can fly?
Okay, here we go. Here's the
There are
last one.
several flying creatures on this island, one which is known as a psycho-vulture.
Let's hear
Animals
it.
that drug themselves with puffer
I
fish
said
and
it at
go
the
off
beginning.
on a crazy killing spree and fire lightning. But we've seen that Night Furies can actually channel this lightning to help it cloak itself, so not a
Ooh.
problem. But there's
Disappear.
a Titan around here that potentially could put an end to the Night Fury.
Here he
Hidden
comes.
in the subterranean caves in this island is a giant bat laying dormant with its minions. This is Titanus Camazotz.
There he is.
A wingspan that is
Camazotz.
almost 8 times wider than the Night Furies
My
and
boy's
over
giant.
27 times taller.
Very
Note that
scary.
This Titan does have its weaknesses, only being able to fight in darker ambience and
Ooh.
being sensitive to bright light. Being massive is
Like
no
a
longer a
plasma
real
beam?
advantage against the Night Fury, but this Titan has an ability that could render this guy useless: the Sonic Screech.
Ooh.
This isn't the Screaming Death's Sonic Roar. In the
Who's that?
Monsterverse, Sonic Roars are actually pretty lethal, enough to disorient massive entities like Titans, making their ears bleed, killing smaller creatures,
That's from the
destroying
comics.
buildings, etc. During an encounter with Camazotz, the Night Fury would most likely trigger this Sonic Screech after a barrage of annoying and painful plasma blasts.
Oof.
This screech of
Then he
this
wouldn't be able to
magnitude
fly.
would cause a shockwave so strong that it would potentially critically injure the acoustic nerves in this Night Fury and probably make it difficult to fly.
Yeah, that
Not
might
to
send him
mention
down.
the massive swarm of minions that are approximately the size of this
Oh,
Night
and he
Fury.
has the minions,
and
I
there are
forgot.
hundreds of them. Cloaking would help
So he's
here
gonna be
as
getting
long
jumped
as
the
it
whole
stays
time,
away from
basically.
the Sonic Roar, making Titanus Camazotz almost impossible to defeat without help. Even with the plasma blasts, this weapon
What
would
about
be
with
hindered
Kong,
by
though?
its shot limit. Without enough firepower to
'Cause
bring
he
down
built
this
that
entire
friendship.
fleet of minions, the Night Fury would be forced to fly out of there as fast as possible to avoid getting killed.
Yeah, get up out of there,
So
man.
after seeing many dangers that live on this island, will the Night Fury survive?
I think
the
it would
answer is,
survive.
it depends.
It does
After
depend,
seeing
though.
the possible outcomes against both ground and airborne predators, it's likely that the Night Fury would place itself on the higher levels of the food chain, thanks to its plethora of abilities.
I like
but
that.
it wouldn't be on the very top.
It definitely
As
wouldn't be on
mentioned earlier,
top.
facing a Titan with an army is no easy feat. The good news for this animal is that this Titan won't be active during the daytime. But maybe
True.
there is a way to share the top ranks of the food chain
Just need to
here,
find somewhere to
and
sleep
that's
at
with
night.
a hypothetical symbiotic relationship with Kong.
That would be
As
so
seen in this
sick.
graphic novel, a collaborative effort was required to bring down Titanus Camazotz. This wasn't done alone, but with help. Similarly, bringing down Camazotz in
Toothless
this
and
scenario
Kong
would have
team up.
required Kong's brute force to pummel down this Titan, and the Night Fury's ability to light up Camazotz, disorienting it at a range with a barrage of plasma attacks.
And that is going to be the end of this video, guys. I think Toothless, he has a good shot at surviving. Let me know what you all think in the comments, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for watching with me. I love ya. Goodbye.